right, so this is our post-unit 3A in-class practice. You will need a calculator for it, so make sure that you have that out so that you can practice typing these things in your calculator that you need to. So first off, it says use your calculator to find the following information for this function on this interval. So let's go ahead and go to y equals. Type in the equation right there, which is 0.1 x to the third power. Make sure you get out of your exponent by toggling right, minus 1.23 x squared plus 2.7x plus 1.3. Let's hit graph. It should be on your standard, or you can hit zoom 6 if it's not on your standard graph, -10 to 10. All right, and here's what our graph looks like. So this is showing us from -10 to 10. Now remember, we want to look at it from -2 to 11, so I'm actually going to fix my window. My x min, I only need to go to -2. I'm going to go to a little bit more than that. So I'm going to do, let's say, -4. And then I need to go all the way to 11, so I'm going to go a little bit more than that, 13. My y's, I could see the bottom and the top of the graph, so I'm fine from there. Those will just allow me to sketch it easier. Okay, so it looks like I have an x-intercept here, or 0 here. I have one about here, and I have one here. And then I have a y-intercept about here, and I'm going to go ahead and make my graph. Okay? All right, so it comes out the corner. Nope, that's not a max, though, so let me do a better job here. I'll draw that point last. Okay, it goes out the corner, and then it goes like this. Okay, it does go on forever and ever. Remember, I'm only looking at it from -2 to -2 to +11. So I'm also going to put that in my graph. I'm going to say, okay, -2 is after that point. So I'm going to say about here is where -2 is. And then 11 is after this point. So I'm going to say 11 is about here-ish. Okay, and then I can make that point now that I see it. All right, let's see what it's asking me for. Sketch the function. Done, did that. Is the function even, odd, or neither? So remember, if it's even, it's reflected over the y-axis. If it's odd, it has 180-degree rotational symmetry about the origin. Neither of those things are happening, so this is neither. All right, next it says find the intervals on which the function is increasing, decreasing, and a constant. So I can see the function is increasing from here to here and from here to here. So I want to know what those intervals are, okay? And let me move 11 over just a little bit because it looks, no, it's fine. Who cares? Okay, so I need to know what this point is. Let me change colors here. I need to know what this point is and this point is so that I can see the x. I need those x values. I might as well get the points, right? So that's a max and a min. So I'm going to do second trace. Option number 4 is maximum. I'm going to do the maximum first because that's to the left. Just a personal preference. I'm going to toggle until I'm to the left of the maximum because it's asking me for a left bound. And remember, you can just hold down that button. I have to keep hitting it. Hit enter, toggle to the right. Now I'm to the right of it, hit enter. Now it says, should I guess? Hit enter one more time, and it'll tell you what this point is. So this point is 1.305, comma, 2.951. Remember, we do 3 decimal places in pre-calculus. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get that minimum over there. So I'm going to do second trace. Option number 3 is minimum. I'm going to toggle to the right. And remember, you can just hold down that button. I have to keep hitting it. A little pain, but it's fine. All right, so I'm to the left, and I want to go to the right of it. All right, I'm to the right. Hit enter one more time. It'll tell you this point is 6.895, comma, -5.779. Okay, so now I can write the intervals on which it's increasing. Now remember, we're only looking from -2 to 11. So that first orange piece right here, this orange piece, I'm not going to say from -infinity to 1.305 because I'm not looking all the way to the left forever and ever and ever. This graph that I'm looking at starts at -2, the piece that I'm looking at. So I will say that it's increasing from -2 to 1.305. And it's also increasing on that other orange interval there, and that is 6.895 to, and then it goes on forever and ever, but remember we're only looking up until 11, so till 11. All right, now we have to do decreasing. So I'm going to change my highlighter color here. You can see that it's decreasing right here. So that is from 1.305 to 6.895. Lastly, they want to know where there's a constant. I'm looking for a horizontal line. There isn't one, so that is never or none. All right, next it wants to know, are there any relative mins or relative maxes? We said there was a min, we said there was a max. Now remember, mins and maxes are y values. So our relative minimum would be this y value right here, -5.779. And then our relative maximum would be this y value right here, 2.951. Find the zeros. So we have 3 zeros. I'm going to make them pink so we can see them again. So we have 3 zeros. I want to find all of those. So we're going to use our calculator to do that again. We're going to hit second trace. Option number 2 is 0. All right, we'll start with the one all the way to the left. So I'm going to toggle till I'm to the left of that 0. I'm going all the way to the left of that 0. All right, so I'm to the left of it, hit enter. Now I'm going to go to the right of that 0. I'm to the right of it, hit enter. Should I guess? Yes. And it tells me that this 0 is at -4044493, 0. So remember, zeros are written as x values, so we're going to write the x value around to 3 decimal places, -0.405. Nope, 4. All right, let's find the next one here. So we're going to hit second trace again. Option number 2 is 0. So we're going to go start getting closer to our other 0. We're still to the left of it. So I'm going to hit enter. Now we're going to get to the right of it. Hit enter one more time. And that 0 is at x equals 3.487. Our last one, so second trace. Option number 2 is 0. We're going to keep toggling till we get closer to that one, but still to the left of it. I'm to the left, hit enter. Toggle here to the right of it, hit enter one more time to guess. And our third 0 is x equals 9.218. Notice the y value there is -2e, -12. That's just 0. It's scientific notation, -2 times 10 to the -12th power. It's a pixelation error. All right, lastly, find the y-intercept. We know y-intercepts are always points 0, something. So remember, to plug in a value, all you have to do is hit the trace button, plug in whatever value you want to. I'm going to plug in 0 for x. It shows up there. Hit enter, and it'll tell you what your y value is, 1.3. You could also have used your equation, and you looked at when you plug in 0, you get 1.3. Okay, part 2 of this one says, well, I guess it's example 2. If h of x is 4.19, so if you have that equation, that horizontal line, and h of x is equal to g of x on the interval, find where h of x is equal to g of x on that interval. So we already have, in y1, we already have g of x. That's already stored in there. So in y2, we are going to put h of x, which is that 4.91. So we're going to go back to y equals. We're going to toggle down to y2, and we're going to put 4.19 there. Enter, and now you can hit graph. It's going to graph that line. So we can see that that intersection is where they're both 4.19, but we want to know the x value that happens at. So we need to find that intersection. So we're going to hit second trace. Option number 5 is intersection. Once again, we're going to get close to that intersection. All right, I'm close enough to that intersection. I'm going to hit enter because it's like, are you on the first curve? Yes. Are you on the second curve, which is technically a line? Yes. Hit enter. Guess. Hit enter one more time, and it'll tell me what the intersection is. The intersection is 9.8. So the intersection, I'm going to write it down here because that's 9.85. Oops, forgot a number. 9.859, comma, 4.19. So if you read the question, it says, if the y value is 4.9, find where the two y values are the same. So I want to find the x value. So it's at the x value of 9.849. Okay. One more problem. A particle moves along a horizontal line so that its velocity at any time is on the interval 0 to 10 is given by this function, where v is measured in feet per second and t is measured in seconds. Sketch the graph to the right, answer the following questions. So go back to y equals. I'm going to clear out my two equations in here, and I'm going to put this one in there. So negative 2.134x squared plus 12.13x, it's t, but that's what our calculator uses, minus 7.61. Now I'm going to I'm going to fix my graph paper so that it's back to that negative 10 to 10. So zoom standard. Let's see what it looks like here. Okay, good. All right, so let's do a sketch of what this looks like. So we have an x-intercept here-ish and here-ish. And we have a y-intercept about there. And then it's just this downward-facing parabola. It's not very symmetrical looking on mine. Okay, good enough. Okay, so there's what my parabola looks like. And once again, per the directions, it says you're looking on the interval of 0 to 10. So we're looking from 0, let's say 10's out here. Okay? All right. So first off, it says find v of 0.5, explain what your answer means. So I'm going to find v of 0.05. So I need to plug in 0.05 for x. To remember to do that, you just hit the trace button, trace, and then type in 0.5. It's a 0.05, but I meant, and I wrote it wrong, but I meant 0.5. 0.5, there we go. All right, hit enter, and it'll plug in 0.5 for you, and you get that it is negative 2.0107, and then we are going to round to 3 decimal places. It says 8.5, but we're going to do 9. Explain what the answer means. So if you look back at the original problem, it says v is measured in feet per second and t is measured in seconds. So we have a time of 0.5 seconds and a velocity of negative 2.079 feet per second. So to say this in a sentence, we can say, first off, we have to understand that when you have a positive velocity, that means the particle is moving forward. When you have a negative velocity, that means it's moving backward. We're looking on an x-axis here from 0 to 10, so really what we can say is to the right and to the left. So if it's positive, it's to the right. If it's negative, to the left. So we can say at 0.0, I keep doing that, 0.05. At 0.5 seconds, the particle is moving 2.079 feet per second, and then make sure you put in a direction. Since this is negative, it's to the left. All right, now we're going to find v of 2, so same process. We're going to plug in 2 for x. Remember, hit trace, trace, and then 2, hit enter, and we get 8.114. So we're going to say at 2 seconds, the particle is moving 8.114 feet per second to the right. The positiveness tells me it's to the right. All right, next it says when is the velocity 7 feet per second? So remember that is a y value. So we already have, in y1, we already have the equation v of t. In y2, we're going to put 7, and we're going to find that intersection. So we're going to go y equals. In y2, we're going to put 7, hit graph. And what it just did is it graphed a line at where 7 is, right? So it graphed this line. So this is the line y equals 7. And it's 2 places, so we have to find both of those intersections. So let's start by hitting second trace. Option number 5 is intersection. Let's get closer to the first one by toggling to the right. Ooh, I went too far. Oh, I hit enter? No. I hit down. There we go. Toggling to the right, hit enter. Now it says I'm on the second curve, hit enter one more time, and you can see it finds that first intersection. The ordered pair is 1.733, comma 7, right? 1.733, yeah, comma 7. But I want to know at what x value that's happening at. So we're going to say at the x value of 1.733 seconds. And now we're going to find our other x value. So we're going to do second trace. Option number 5 is intersection. Let's get closer to that second intersection so we can find it. Keep toggling to the right here. All right, I'm closer to that second intersection. Hit enter. It's on the next curve. Guess. Hit enter. And it'll find that x value, 3.952 seconds. Okay. All right, lastly, what's the maximum velocity of the particle? So I want to find this point, and then the y value is the maximum. So we're going to do, that's a max, so second trace. Option number 4 is maximum. We're going to toggle to the left until we're to the left of it. Can't see if I am there. I am. Hit enter, go to the right, hit enter one more time. It'll find that point. Notice it's at the tippy top there. The ordered pair you can see, but we want the maximum, which is the y value. So the maximum velocity is 9.627 feet per second. And then we could always say like that happens at the x value, or at, that occurs at 2.842 seconds. All right, so that's some just calculator practice. You can go ahead and get started on the spiral review.